What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. You see, in recent years, everyone living in modern society has been completely inundated with a specific narrative. You hear it on social media, school, you hear it in the mainstream media, this idea that men and women are completely identical and that gender roles are oppressive. And that dynamic equality means acting exactly the same. Now look, there are fundamental human rights that apply to everyone, but as a certain speaker on YouTube once put it, there are specific responsibilities and domains that are naturally handled better by men, like taking on high stress physical risk, building infrastructures, protecting the perimeter and providing, and there are domains that are naturally nurtured better by women, such as raising children, creating emotional safety and maintaining the home. And that biological reality isn't malicious, it's basic human nature. And here is how this modern agenda directly damaged me and how I know for a fact it is damaging you right now. Like, these cultural lies completely destroyed my perception of how I should treat a woman. I ruined so many personal opportunities, lost respect and destroyed potential relationships because I bought into the lie that all women want a man who acts like a passive peer. I thought, oh, women want to lead and dictate everything now, so I should just treat them like one of the homies, sit back and hand over the steering wheel. And I'm not telling you to treat women horribly and disrespectfully. Far from it. We are going to discuss exactly how a high value man treats a woman with honor and strength later in this video. But first, we need to dismantle the three major lies that have been conditioning you into becoming a passive weak male. So, the very first lie you've been fed in is that modern women want to make all the tough decisions. You've been told that women want to be the ones giving orders, dictating the dynamic and taking the lead in relationship choices every single day. And I believe that garbage for years, and it's completely a twisted lie. Women do not actually want to carry the burden of executive leadership in a relationship. Even the ones who claim on camera that they want a total control don't actually enjoy it in practice. Do you know why? Because leadership carries immense stress, friction and responsibility. The exact second you step back and force a woman to make every executive decision in your relationship, from where you're going to what your future looks like to how problems are solved, you instantly become a low value, incompetent man in her eyes. Look around you at the Western world today. Look at the average modern couple. What do you see? You see millions of relationships where the dynamic is completely depolarized. You have marriages where the man is a total simp, completely subservient, unable to make a firm decision without trembling, while the woman is forced into an aggressive masculine leadership role out of pure necessity. And then everyone wonders why the divorce rate is skyrocketing, why attraction vanishes after a few months, and why couples become miserable roommates. It's because the male failed to be a man and the woman had no choice but to step up and pilot the ship herself. And when you refuse to lead, you kill polarity. Without polarity, sexual and emotional attraction completely dies. The second lie you've been told is that women just want a nice guy. Let me give you a piece of advice that will save you hundreds of hours of wasted emotional energy. Whenever you hear a girl describe a guy with the phrase,
"Oh, he's so nice,"
run as fast as you humanly can in the opposite direction. And above all else, never, under any circumstances, allow yourself to stay in the friend zone. Staying in the friend zone with a girl you actually have romantic feelings for is the most embarrassing self-destructive bullshit a young man can possibly pull on himself. You sit there giving her free emotional labor, acting as her therapist, listening to her talk about her daily problems, burning up to your valuable youth and focus. And what happens in the end? She goes out and finds a masculine high value guy who actually respects himself. And then you are forced to sit there like a pathetic spectator listening to her say,
"Oh, this guy is treating me so recklessly. Tell me, what shall I do?"
And you sit there nodding along, foolishly thinking,
if I just stay loyal and keep listening to her complain, maybe one day she'll give me a chance.
Bro, let me actually be honest with you. She'll never sleep with you ever. She isn't keeping you around because she respects you. She's keeping you around as an emotional dumpster while she reserves her romantic attention for men who actually project boundaries and strength. Cut the cord. Walk away immediately. The second a girl tries to reframe your interest to just friends, remove your attraction completely. Your time and focus are too valuable to be wasted on a fake friendship. Alright, so if being the desperate nice guy is a trap, what is the alternative? How should a real man carry himself? Well, there is a powerful quote that sums up the ideal masculine state perfectly. The ideal man is a peaceful gangster. And what does that actually mean? It means a man who is exceptionally capable of violence, capable of conflict, of standing his ground and protecting his perimeter, but who chooses to maintain a total peace and composure around his woman. And think of the classic archetype of Prince Charming, the prince with a sword. The sword stays in the scabbard. He doesn't pull it on his princess. When he's around her, he's warm, protective, and sweet as possible. But she knows deep down that if a threat enters the frame, that sword comes out instantly. And part of carrying that sword means never making a habit of complaining in front of her. Because, you know, society lies to you and tells you that modern men should constantly vent, cry over minor inconveniences, and dump their existential dread into their partners. Do not make this a habit. And when you come home exhausted, battered from grinding, and she looks at you and says, "Are you okay?" You look her in the eyes and smile calmly and say, "Everything's alright, everything is taken care, honey, don't worry." And unless an absolute tragedy occurs, a family emergency or a real crisis, you do not let her see you breaking down over petty everyday nonsense. If you turn into a man who whines about his job, whines about his fatigue, and cries over small difficulties every night, she will lose her sense of safety. A woman wants to feel like her man is an anchor in the storm, not a leaf being blown around by the wind. Now, let's tackle the third major lie. The fairy tale claim that looks don't matter, money doesn't matter, only your heart counts. And this is quite literally one of the biggest lies ever told to young men. And let me share my own personal experience. For a very long time, people barely paid attention to me, especially women. I was skinny, frail, and looked like I had just escaped from a starvation camp, like Auschwitz. I wasn't until I hit the gym, put some muscles on my frame, dressed cleanly, and groomed myself properly that people's entire perception of me shifted overnight. If you want to sit there and tell yourself that physical appearance doesn't matter, go right ahead. If you are content being with someone who looks like they just crawled out of a trash dump, but if you have real standards for the kind of partner you want, then you need to have the self-respect to match those standards yourself. Now, hear me clearly, I'm not telling you to fall down the toxic black pill rabbit hole. I'm not telling you to sit on weird internet forums measuring your eye angles, obsessing over skull shapes, or stressing because your nose or eyes aren't a specific millimeter width. That stuff is absolute brain rot designed by hopeless, defeated people to make you give up before you even try. The reality is simple. If you dedicate 12 to 18 months to building a powerful physique, staying lean and picking a clean haircut that suits your head shape, and taking basic care of your skin, you will look better than 90% of the population. And yes, it's going to take time. It might take a full year of hard work in the gym, but guess what? That year is going to pass anyway. You can spend the next 365 days staying weak and looking terrible, or you can spend those same 365 days building a body you are proud of. And the choice is yours. And now let's talk about money. You see soft people on the internet all the time saying that money doesn't matter at all, only your character matters. And listen, if you are under 18 or in college, it is completely normal to not have money yet. You are still building your foundation. But if you are 25 years old, have no savings, no vehicle, no career trajectory, and you're taking your girl around the city bus while living off your parents, then things are not going to end well well for you, no matter what coping stories people trying to sell you. Do you know why? Because biologically speaking, when a high value woman commits to a man, she is placing herself in a naturally vulnerable position. She considers the future, pregnancy, raising children, long-term security. If you're 25 years old, spending 8 hours a day playing video games, smoking weed, and I don't know what you're doing, through life with zero direction, why on earth would a high value woman choose you? What safety do you offer? And even if you don't have massive wealth right now, a good woman needs to see relentless ambition and aggressive action. Ambition without execution is just daydreaming. If you have a drive, if you get up every morning and put real work into your craft, your skills and your physical condition, a real woman will respect that trajectory and will stand by you while you're building your kingdom. But you have to actually put in the work. You cannot be a passive boy masquerading as a man. And stop believing the comfortable lies society feeds you to keep you weak, passive and single. So yeah, I hope I could make your life at least 1% better, and see you the next time.